Hi, it's happening. It is happening. The podcast is there when this is posted. This is the first episode of my podcast, the Cozy Chaos podcast. How do we like the name? I like it. I think it defines very well the vibe of this podcast because I am going to talk about so many things. It's chaotic. Realistically, the chaos part of the title is really the main part. Cozy is because I don't feel like I'm a very energetic person, so that's why I said cozy, but chaos. It is going to be chaotic because I am not very organized. I always go everywhere when I'm talking. I'm just being real, honest, and raw in this podcast. Why did I start this podcast? I started this podcast because I want to improve my eloquence skills. I want to speak better English. I want to share my thoughts because I think it's very interesting. I love listening to podcasts. And I wanted to create my own because why not? I have so much things to talk about and so much thoughts that I want to share with the world and want to keep track of, like kind of a memory, a digital diary. Of course. Topics I'm gonna cover are very diverse and I don't think I fit into a specific category of a podcast. I will have deep conversations, more light talks, talking about aesthetics, about writing, about making YouTube videos, creativity, just being vegetarian, my lifestyle, so many things. It's kind of a YouTube video that literally sit down and less editing. That's what a podcast is. Thank you, Leah. Oh, by the way, if you don't know me, my name is Leah. I am 18 years old when this is filmed. And I don't want to say I'm a YouTuber because I feel like that's a big word for what I am. I'm just a girl. Just a girl is the 3 words that define me the best. I just do stuff for fun. I love evolving. I love English. I am French, by the way. If you didn't hear that, I'm not a native English speaker, so excuse my accent, excuse my mediocre vocabulary. I'm trying my best. I am trying my best, and I feel like I've grown a little bit. I've done way better. Like, my English is way better than when I started my first videos. I feel like I'm a little bit more eloquent. My personal vibe is really casual and honest and raw, but also kind of fun, deep. I'm just a human, just a girl doing stuff. Like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just doing this podcast for fun, and why not have fun together? That's the vibe we're going for. I have thoughts that I think would be cool to share, but I don't really have anyone to share them to. So I'm sharing it on the internet and you are watching it or listening to it. There will be a reoccurring theme in every single episode, which is the chaos of the week, because every single week, almost every single day really, there is something very embarrassing or chaotic that happens to me, and this week was, I'm getting embarrassed just thinking about it. Let's start from the beginning. I went to a restaurant with my grandpa and my sister to just eat out and chill together. And there was she was so beautiful. There was a waitress at this restaurant. She was one of the most beautiful humans I have ever seen in my life. I was enthralled by her beauty. And I kept looking at her. I could not stop looking at her because of how beautiful she was. So that was kind of embarrassing, but this is not the embarrassing part. Anyways, we keep eating and she laughs at every bad joke that I make. Because when I'm kind of attracted to someone, I try to make jokes because I'm uncomfortable with being so attracted to them, I have to turn it into something funny because I'm kind of scared of how my feelings are so strong for someone, So I keep making bad jokes, really bad jokes. Like, I can't even talk about this because this is really bad. And she keeps on laughing. So I was kind of, are you trying to hit on me? Because, girl, why are you laughing? This is bad. This was like, oh my god, such bad jokes, such dad jokes. They were not good. Comes the moment where we have to pay the bill. So this is her who's like taking the money off of us, and she compliments my nails, and I become so motherfucking red. Like, girl, I felt like my whole body was in fire. Literally, these are nails that she complimented. And I was with my grandpa, and I don't think he knows I'm gay. I've made it pretty clear, but I've never done a coming out or stuff because I don't really care enough to do that. So I really wanted to get her number, but I didn't. I was just so shy for some reason, and I've never felt like this. I'm pretty straightforward when it comes to me liking someone. I'm very straightforward, but this time since I was with my grandpa and my sister, I was not as straightforward. I just said thank you, and I was so embarrassed, and I was red for like 10 minutes after. I was kicking my feet and being just like a happy little girl. And yeah, that was kind of... I'm still thinking about it. I dreamed about it yesterday, and she was so beautiful. She had such a beautiful face, and her voice, and just... I loved her. So this is my chaotic moment of the week. Today's topic we are going to cover is reinventing yourself. But what does reinventing yourself even mean, you may ask? Reinventing yourself to me is constantly evolving and changing. So this can be through many things, actually. This can be moving houses or changing grade, getting into a new style, something like this. And that's a good thing. That is not a bad thing. I think evolving is a necessary part of our personal growth in life. And I think reinventing yourself is sometimes necessary, because if you keep being the same as when you were 15 years old, when you are 30, I don't think it's a good thing, because you should evolve. And evolving means also reinventing yourself, you know. This change can be scary, I'm not gonna lie, because it is something you are used to. And reinventing yourself is changing something you are used to. So it can be very scary, but I think it is necessary. And it is also empowering to just take matters into your own hands and change yourself. Reinventing yourself isn't just about big life changes like getting a new job, starting university, turning a certain age. It is also about mindset shifts that can happen throughout your life. I have personally reinvented myself multiple times, and countless times actually, and I am constantly reinventing myself to get to the best version of myself. One of the most recent examples would be switching my YouTube channel to English, which, if you didn't know about that, I started doing my YouTube channel in French, and now I switched to English, which was kind of hard and really scary to do because it was a new thing, and I was not as comfortable doing it. I think reinventing yourself is also getting out of your comfort zone. So this is why it may be scary, but it brings so much joy and empowerment that I think it's a good thing. One other example is starting this podcast, which is very getting out of my comfort zone because I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know, I just pulled out my camera, wrote down a few ideas on my laptop, and I'm speaking to you, and that's just how life is. And if this is posted, is that I liked it enough. It was chaotic enough, but not too much so that I can post it. I also reinvented myself by going through other creative paths. Like I take art classes. And I have the chance to have such a good art teacher, which she does courses every so often. And she teaches us new techniques and new stuff. I do watercolor most of the time because I feel like I connect the most with it. But recently we did oil pastels, which I didn't know anything about oil pastels. I don't have any stuff to do oil pastels. I don't have oil pastels. So she brought all the stuff and she taught us how to do it. And I found out I really like it. And if I didn't do this course, I wouldn't know I liked it. So I think it is very cool, but it's also scary because you don't know anything and sometimes it doesn't turn out good. So you're kind of, I shouldn't have done that. Now I'm disappointed, but you should try it. You should try new things to reinvent yourself. There are moments when I felt really stuck with reinventing myself. I it doesn't always turn out good. Sometimes you feel stuck, and it happens a lot with my personal style these days. I'm still trying out to find which fashion style I'm still kind of trying out to find out what fashion style I like the most, but I'm discovering that I don't have a fixed personal style. I like changing out stuff. I like dressing up this way, then dressing up this aesthetic, then another one. I don't have a specific fashion style, and it's hard to navigate through that because I feel like that's not the usual stuff. I feel like so many people have a dedicated style and they just stick to it, and they have so many things like their clothes, all of their clothes, they go well together because they stick to a specific style. But I have so many different clothes that don't go together because of how different and weird they are together, You don't have to stick to something. If, for example, you like the dark academia aesthetic, this can be another aesthetic, I don't care, but this is just an example. You can stick to it for a while, and when you don't like it anymore, you can change. You don't have to stick to something all the stinking time. For a while, I like the coquette balletcore aesthetic, and I still like it, but I do like other aesthetics, and that's why I don't always stick to it. Like right now, as you can see, I'm not very coquette, but I don't think it's a bad thing. Having different aesthetics and styles makes your personal style and personality. It isn't a bad thing that you can't stick to just one thing, and it's not a bad thing if you only stick to one thing either. I don't care. Like, you do you. If you are happy with how you are now, this probably means that you have reinvented yourself enough for now. Maybe tomorrow you will feel like you need to reinvent yourself. If you are happy with where you are now, this is a good thing. But you should always be striving to get better, to get even better, to be happier, to feel better. I am turning 19 in a few days, and I am realizing even more now than when I was younger that society makes us feel like we have to have everything figured out about our life, what style we are, what we want to do, we have to have everything figured out according to society especially when you are turning an adult. You have to know who you are, but you don't. You don't have to know exactly who you are. You don't have to have a label on your fucking forehead, meaning, oh, I'm a dark academia girl, oh, I'm a cokehead girl, oh, I'm straight, oh, I'm gay. Like, you don't care. You don't have to care that much about labels. It doesn't matter. You just be yourself and try to be as happy as you can. If labels make you happy, then try to have as many labels as you can, but you don't have to have them to feel happy, You can embrace the fluidity of life instead of just sticking to one identity. And I feel like most people are very scared of not knowing what's going to happen next, but I feel like it's kind of fun to not know what happens next. I feel like you should say yes more to things, even though everything is not figured out, even though everything is not planned. You should say yes more and just live your life. Be less scared of things you don't know. I feel like I've evolved a lot on this. I try to say yes so often. I try to say yes to things as often as I can, because almost every time this creates new friendships. I discover a lot about myself, and I can make creative stuff. So many opportunities comes when you say yes. When you say no, you are saying no to so many opportunities you don't even know about. And when you say yes, you potentially say yes to those opportunities that maybe you don't know about. Maybe you're going to meet someone who's going to change your life on this party. Maybe in this course of an arts class, you are going to discover something that is going to make you the biggest artist in the world. You don't know what's going to happen. And when you say no, you are saying no to any of those possibilities. Now, you may be wondering, oh yeah, this is cool, I want to reinvent myself, but how do I do it? I'm going to tell you. Most important thing, I think, is taking small steps, changing habits, having mindset shifts, trying out new things and saying yes more. I think this is just something that I have implemented in my life, and it is kind of a habit I think it is kind of a habit for me now, that saying yes more is such an important thing to reinvent yourself. Taking small steps is very important because you cannot change yourself by completely shifting your whole personality, your whole soul into that mold of who you want to be. You have to take it slow, take small steps, changing habits, changing mindsets, trying out new things. It takes time to reinvent yourself. It isn't something that's easy. It's really hard. Sometimes you are going to go through hardships. And it's okay. Everyone goes through that at some point. Life isn't easy. You also have to let go of the past version of yourself that you want to reinvent. If this part of yourself doesn't serve you anymore, you don't have to keep it with you, you know? If you don't like the way you're always complaining about stuff, for example, just stop complaining. It's not going to be easy. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but you have to stop at some point. You have to start noticing when you complain first. Oh, I keep complaining that this food isn't good. I'm going to stop for now. And you keep not complaining until the dinner is finished. And that's already a big step, because you have noticed that you were complaining and you took actions into your own hands. And it is very important. And you keep doing that. And it's going to become a habit. And this is a small habit that you build to reinvent yourself. One thing that I find is really important is also romanticizing the process. Making reinventing yourself exciting instead of scary. Think about enjoying the process instead of the scary outcome of becoming someone that you don't know yet, because it's not you yet. Think about the small steps you're going to build. Think about tomorrow, how you're going to act, how you can act now. Think about positive things you can do to improve yourself that makes you happy. If you don't want to exercise, don't plan on being an athletic person. Like, if you don't like exercising, that's okay. That's okay. You don't have to exercise for 2 hours a day. If you like, I don't know, running for 5 minutes, run for 5 minutes. Who cares if you don't run like 20 miles? No one cares. If you just like running, like sprinting until you're dead on the ground, do it. Just do it. If it makes you happy, do it. Reinventing yourself takes you from point A of you being a certain person to point B of you being a better person. But from point A to point B, there is so much to go through. So many habits to take, so many small changes to make. And it's not easy. It's going to take time, it's going to be hard sometimes, but the outcome is going to be so positive that you will not be able to mourn your past self, you know? Reinvention isn't a one-time thing. It's ongoing. You are constantly evolving to be a better version of yourself. And it is chaotic. Self-discovery is so chaotic. You are going to discover so many things about yourself throughout your life that you cannot control. You are going to discover maybe you like boys. I didn't know I liked boys, but I do now. So that's it, rock with it. Just be happy that you like boys. You are allowed to change, to grow, at your own pace. It is part of the beauty of reinventing yourself, you know? I'm so sorry, I feel like this is very chaotic. Maybe that's why I called it the Cozy Chaos Podcast. So I think I'm gonna end it on this note because I don't feel like I have anything more to say. If you liked it, please comment that you liked it. It would make me very happy. Or like this video would make me feel very happy. If you have anything to say, any recommendations, any stuff that you would like me to talk about, say it too, because I would love to hear about your opinion and how you like this podcast, you know? I am very open to critics because I definitely know there is room for improvement. I know this isn't perfect and this will never be. But I would like to improve, so feel free to share your opinions. See you soon. Love you.